Sales of EVs in China hit 15% for 2 straight months in a row in September and October this year. Now that's a tripling of EV sales versus the same months in China last year. As you can see, the market is transitioning to electric cars way faster than any single mainstream media publication has even come close to projecting would happen. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Electric Viking. Fantastic to see you here. Thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for all those new subscribers. There's been about 1,000 new subscribers come in over the last 2 days. Fantastic to see you guys. Welcome. Welcome to everyone else who's been here over the last 6 months. And well, just welcome to all of you. Fantastic to see you. This information, this news report, I think is going to blow your mind a little bit. It blew my mind when I read it. I was just thinking, this is happening. Wow. China's wholesale sales of new energy passenger vehicles were 368,000 in October, up 158% year on year and up 6.3% versus the previous month of September, according to data released today by the China Passenger Car Association, or the CPCA. This includes 303,000 electric vehicles and only 65,000 PHEVs, or plug-in hybrids, accounting for 82.3% and 17.7% respectively. Now, as you can see, in China, where people can get an EV for the same price as a PHEV or a petrol vehicle, they almost always choose an electric one, right? Yeah, well, 82.3% of all new energy vehicles sold were fully electric. So Chinese buyers, well, they're pretty smart, to be honest. Wholesale sales of passenger new energy vehicles in China from January to October were 2.4 million, up 204% year on year. Retail sales of passenger new energy vehicles in China reached 321,000 units in October, up 141% year on year and down 3.9% from September. But the interesting thing is here, electric car sales have increased almost every month this year in China. Now, I remember early on when I started this channel at the start of this year, I was making projections that were a little crazy, but to be honest, they were lower than what's actually happened. And people were calling me a fool. They were saying I was crazy. I was saying that things were going to happen fast and it was impossible. They couldn't possibly scale up this fast. There's no way they could do it. It can't happen. That's what some people were saying. And I think some of those guys unsubscribed. Good for you. Because, well, it looks pretty silly now considering, look at the pace electric cars are taking over the world's biggest car market. Now, the very worrying concern here is for all the main legacy auto car makers who don't really sell battery-powered vehicles in China. And considering the growth of battery-powered vehicles in China is astronomical, that's what customers want, legacy automakers don't really sell them in China. They sell very small, minuscule numbers. Well, this is a bit of an alarming situation for them to be in. Now, from January to October, China's retail sales of new energy vehicles reached 2.14 million vehicles, up 192% year on year. This is astronomical growth that nobody predicted, even myself. I was very optimistic, but I didn't even see it happening this fast. So the penetration rate of new energy vehicles in wholesale sales in October was 18.6%. In the January to October period, the figure was 14.3%, a significant increase from the 2020 penetration rate of 5.8%. By the end of the year, it looks as though the year average will be around about 16% for penetration rate of new energy vehicle sales in China versus 5.8% last year. That's nearly triple. That's nearly triple in 1 year. What happens if we see a tripling again next year? Okay, let's not even go that far, right? Let's just say we just see a doubling. That means we're looking at 18.6 plus 18.6, which is 37.2%. So if the market slows down significantly, and rather than tripling in the next 12 months, it only doubles, we're already going to get to 37.2% penetration rate. Now, all these mainstream media came out today and said that we'd hit 35% in 2025. I don't think these guys even do any research before they write their articles. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, in October, the penetration rate of new energy vehicles was 30% among local brands. Listen to this, 30% among local brands, 25% for luxury vehicles, compared to only 2.7% for mainstream joint venture brands. Now they're saying that Honda, Subaru, Mitsubishi, Toyota, Nissan, Mazda, all the big brands, BMW, Mercedes, these guys, Audi, they all have pretty good sales in China. But they're saying that only 2.7% of their cars, of these joint venture brands, so in other words, legacy automakers sales in China, only 2.7% of their vehicles were new energy vehicles. Only 2.7. Only 2% of them were EVs. Seriously, 2%. Versus 30% among local car brands. What does this tell you, right? This tells you that legacy automakers are screwed. They're screwed because this disruption is happening enormously quickly in China. Well, China just happens to be the world's largest auto market, largest in the world. And what's happening? Only 2% of legacy automakers are selling EVs in a segment where everyone wants an EV. It's growing at 300% growth versus this time last year. So what about Tesla China? Well, China's new energy vehicle exports showed explosive growth in October for one reason. Tesla China exported 41,000 vehicles, followed by SAIC passenger vehicle, who exported 6,660 electric vehicles, BYD, who exported 1,000 electric vehicles, and FAW Hongqi, who exported 424. Now, a smaller number were exported by other companies such as Xpeng and NIO to Europe. Unfortunately for those guys, they're massively constrained by production, and so they have to basically sell almost all their cars that they're making right now in China. So what about BYD? How did they go? Well, I made a video about BYD's sales in October. I'll put a link in the description below. You should check that video out because BYD, wow, this year, what an incredible story. The story of BYD this year should be written about in textbooks in business schools. BYD's wholesale sales of 80,373 passenger new energy vehicles in October were higher than Tesla's 54,391, and they remain the top wholesale seller of passenger new energy vehicles in China. Now, as soon as BYD start actually exporting their cars, it's going to be crazy. I think BYD will be one of the 3 largest automakers in the world by 2030. If you look at the trends, look at the product, it makes total sense. SAIC GM Wulling's wholesale sales of new energy vehicles in October were 42,000. 42,000, almost all of those for one model. Wow. SAIC passenger cars, 24,000. GAC Aeon, 12,064. By the way, I've got a new video coming about the GAC Aeon with 1,000 kilometers of range, now on sale in China. Seriously, true story. And Xpeng, 10,138. BYD PHEV sales were 38,641 in October, up 17% from September. For some reason, the Chinese love BYD's PHEVs. I don't know why. I think their electric vehicles are way better. But anyway, those drove the growth of affordable plug-in hybrid models in China. Now, Volkswagen's joint venture in China sold 16,300 NEVs, accounting for 72% of the mainstream joint venture's share. Most of those, by the way, were EVs. Well done for Volkswagen in China. People thought you wouldn't work. A lot of the commentators were saying people wouldn't buy your EVs in China, but they are buying them. I think about 13,000 were sold in China in the month of October alone. That's a pretty big number of EVs for Volkswagen. Now, what about BMW? Well, BMW sold 4,263 new energy vehicles in October, made up of hybrids and plug-in hybrids and fully electric vehicles. So what about the chip supply in China? Well, apparently the worst moments have passed. The darkest moment for automotive chip supply has passed in the third quarter, the CPCA in China said. But the CPCA also noted that chip supply improved by only 10% in October compared with September, below their previous expectation of 20%, meaning that the bottleneck of opaque supply does remain, but it appears as though it's getting better. Now, this is interesting, right? The sales for November are going to be very interesting because there's actually 22 working days in November, which is flat relative to last November, so it's a good comparison, but it's 5 more than in October this year. That means there should be a lot of growth in November in EV and plug-in hybrid, but specifically in EV sales. As you can see, most people don't buy plug-in hybrids in China. They buy EVs if they're going to buy a car with a battery, which is really good. Now, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in November. We're already at basically 19% penetration rate. Like I said, more than 15% of the cars sold in China in the month of October were electric vehicles. They're going crazy. It's exciting to see. It's scary for legacy automakers who are not really selling EVs in China. Fantastic for the local companies. There's so much demand. Tripling of sales of EVs. A tripling of sales. Things are heating up like crazy. So great to see. I love it. Exciting stuff. Thanks for watching the channel. Thanks for supporting the channel. Fantastic to see you here again. Hope you got something out of this. It's very interesting to see what's happening to legacy car makers in China. What do you think will happen? I mean, honestly, they must be panicking. They have to be panicking. This situation it's pretty dire. It's like everyone wants a smartphone and you're selling the old Nokia 34, what were they called? 3410s or I don't know. They were crap. Anyway, smartphones are better. That's the point. Get with the times, legacy automakers. Got to move on, mate. It's happening. You're going to be screwed if you don't move on. Thanks for watching the channel. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.